Sleepwalking isn't your brain malfunctioning. It's an ancient guard system, still installed, occasionally firing at the wrong moment, decades after the threat it was built for stopped showing up at night. Here's what you'll actually walk away with. Not just what sleepwalking is, but why your brain still runs a partial night watch you never asked for, and what actually triggers it in your life right now. Start with the basic mechanic, because most people get this part wrong immediately. Sleepwalking isn't you acting out a dream. That's a different, much rarer condition. Sleepwalking happens during deep, slow wave sleep, typically in the first few hours of the night, long before the dream-heavy REM stages even begin. Sleep researchers Carlos Schenk and Mark Mahould spent decades studying this at the University of Minnesota and classified sleepwalking as a disorder of arousal. Your brain doesn't fully wake up and doesn't stay fully asleep either. It gets stuck in between, with the motor systems controlling movement switching on while the systems responsible for conscious awareness stay mostly offline. That's the actionable detail worth remembering. A sleepwalking brain isn't broken. It's incompletely transitioning between two working states, which is why sleepwalkers can navigate around furniture, open doors, sometimes hold conversations, all without ever forming a memory of doing it. Twin studies add another piece almost nobody expects. Sleepwalking runs heavily in families, with genetic studies estimating that more than half the variation in who sleepwalks comes down to inherited factors, not upbringing or willpower. If it runs in your family, that's not a character flaw showing up. That's wiring. So, why would the evolution build a system that half wakes people up in the middle of the night at all? A sleep researcher named David Sampson has spent years studying sleep patterns in modern hunter-gatherer groups, including the Hadza in Tanzania, the same population this channel has referenced before. His research found something that reframes the entire question. Humans sleep noticeably lighter and wake more frequently through the night compared to most other primates, and it isn't a flaw. In a group sleeping in the open with real predator risk, at least one person needs to be capable of partial arousal at almost any point in the night. Full, deep unconsciousness for every single person at once would have been a liability, not a luxury. This is where the pieces connect. A brain built to sometimes climb halfway out of deep sleep, activate the body, and respond to something without a slow, careful wake-up process was a feature in that world. Sleepwalking, in a strange way, may be an occasional overshoot of exactly that ancestral arousal system. The half-awake response still fires. There's just no predator in the room anymore, so the body gets up and wanders instead of standing guard. Here's the part you can actually use tonight. That arousal system doesn't fire randomly. Research consistently links sleepwalking episodes to a specific list of triggers, and the list matters because most of them are modifiable. Sleep deprivation is the single strongest trigger, since a sleep-deprived brain spends more time in the deep, slow-wave stage where sleepwalking originates and rebounds into it more forcefully. Stress and irregular sleep schedules are close behind, both of which destabilize the same arousal system that evolution built to be sensitive in the first place. That means the modern mismatch here isn't really about safety anymore. It's about scheduling. Your ancestors' arousal system got triggered by an actual sound in the dark. Yours gets triggered by 3 nights of 5-hour sleep during a stressful week, which pushes your brain into exactly the kind of deep sleep rebound that makes an incomplete arousal more likely. If sleepwalking shows up in your house, the highest leverage fix isn't a dramatic intervention. It's protecting consistent sleep duration and a stable bedtime, because you're directly reducing the pressure on the same system that's overshooting. Alongside that, basic safety measures matter more than people expect. Clearing obstacles near the bed, securing doors and windows, because a half-awake brain is not making careful decisions about stairs. Why does a brain built for survival occasionally get up and wander through your living room at 2 a.m.? Because for most of human history, a body that could move before it was fully awake sometimes meant the difference between noticing danger in time and not noticing it at all. The switch is still installed. It's just misfiring in a house with no predators left to guard against.